going on, guys? So today we're back with another Pokemon Masters video, and today we're actually going to give Ethan and Cyndaquil. More so, we're going to be looking at Typhlosion altogether, but you're going to get Ethan and Cyndaquil when you scout for these two. But we're basically going to be focusing on that final evolution in Typhlosion, so just kind of clear that up. That's what we're going over today. So my boy Ethan from Gen 2 is making an appearance in Pokemon Masters with his trusty Cyndaquil. Because Cyndaquil will be available to evolve, we are going to mainly focus on Typhlosion in this video, like I said, to give Ethan a chance to really look his best. So let's take a look at our stats and kind of see what we're working out with here. So in terms of HP, we've got a 565, attack of 131, defense 134, special attack 274, special defense 136, and speed of 357. So that's pretty insane. I mean, main things to take away from here is, according to my bulk spreadsheet, I have a spreadsheet. If you guys ever have possibly looked in the description, there are links to a spreadsheet down there which basically has a bunch of just sync pair information. It's got all the moves, it's got everything that I use whenever I make videos and stuff like that. And one of the things that I particularly look at is bulk in some scenarios. So an HP of 565 here, plus special defense of 136, plus a defense of 134. By my calculations, that should rank Typhlosion as one of the highest bulk Pokemon in the game, which is weird to think about. But after looking at that and realizing some stuff about his kit, it kind of works in a weird way. But remind me to talk about that here in just a second. Next, we're actually going to be moving on to our moves though. Starting out with Flamethrower, it's a decent 2-bar move with 47 power, 100 accuracy, and it's got a small chance of leaving the target burned, which is fine. We did have X special attack, which is good for boosting special attack. Eruption, a very interesting move based on the HP of Typhlosion. This move could do a large chunk of damage or a little. It's kind of all based on how healthy Typhlosion is though. Not in the typical way, I at least think. When Typhlosion takes damage, the move loses power, which is quite interesting. It is a 3-bar move. It does have 135 on the power and 100 accuracy, which is good, but it does actually hit all opponents, which is very, very cool. Stroke the Fire is going to restore a bit of our HP and increase our speed and evasiveness. Goes well with our kit here and further increases our actually pretty high speed. Up until we evolve into Typhlosion, we do carry that standard Fire Sync Beam, but Typhlosion, on the other hand, does get Fierce Flames Eruption, which is pretty standard at 300, single target, no additional effect, all that's fine. And then we do have one passive here, which is Speeding Sun 2, which will quickly charge the move gauge when the weather is sunny. Blaine, hello, could you come a little bit closer, please? We're gonna need you in a minute. So damage output, Typhlosion is kind of awkward in the damage department for me, only because his main damaging move is dependent on how much HP Typhlosion has remaining. In a perfect world, we could hide behind some supports and keep some potions on hand to maximize damage, but comparing Eruption to Hurricane on Pidgeot, after it evolves into its Mega Form, we're not going to get too close to matching this kind of damage, unfortunately. Pidgeot, in its Mega Form, is going to have over 400 special attack, while we're only at 274, and then Eruption's just going to be 135, compared to Hurricane, which is at 131. While we will still do sizable damage, I think the biggest benefit here is that we now have a fire attacker that can do AoE damage, which is nice. In terms of our utility, as a special striker, we're basically serving one purpose: do damage. Our utility is usually low here, and Typhlosion fits into the mold pretty well. We do have a self buff, some self heals, and a slight move gauge boost. All this works pretty good for us, but it also sets us up to be kind of a lone wolf. In solo, as long as you can hide behind some supports and avoid some AoE damage, or maybe have some heals ready, things should go pretty smooth. In co-op though, depending on how nice the AI is at targeting you, you could be in a rough spot. Thinking about Erica EX, this actually puts some decent super effective damage into the mix, especially if you don't have Hilda like this guy. One thing that I do want to bring up in the utility section is actually, remember when I was talking about at the very beginning that our bulk is really high? What that actually does for us is, since it makes us one of the really bulky Pokemon, in solo we know that the AI is basically just going to target whoever is the bulkiest on your team. If that's the case, you're generally going to always need to bring someone extremely bulky so that you don't lose like a ton of health on Typhlosion. Which kind of like, in a sort of evil genius way, is something I totally could expect DNA to do to keep Typhlosion at bay in terms of a special striker. It's crazy to me that if they didn't think that all the way through, oh crap, they kind of screwed this one up. But if they thought that all the way through, that's pretty awesome. I have to say, that's definite credit to a very interesting situation to put Typhlosion in because of his kit and doing damage and needing all of his HP. It's just really cool. Now, in terms of future proofing, as all sync pairs, power creep is real. I feel like strikers are the most easily power crept role, basically because all that needs to happen is another sync pair comes along with either better stats or better moves, and you're kind of just pushed to the side. Typhlosion seems to fall into that category, unfortunately. For the time being though, he will complement any team that is lacking in fire type damage, especially those teams centered around special attack, but could easily be phased out, unfortunately. Now when it comes to team ideas, I had a couple that I kind of want to run by you. First off, any sync pair that can boost special attack will be helpful here, Rosa and Superior, or main character and Torchic. Then anything that can provide some heals just in case you get stuck in a funky scenario, like Skyla, Glacio, or even Sharon would actually be pretty good here. Then the other team idea that I had, of course, is going to be an interesting one as it utilizes Blaine. To make the weather sunny would be just great so that you could just go to town here. So a long time ago when we talked about Lyra and how when we get some more sync pairs that can take advantage of the sunny weather, things will look a lot better, this is a good turn for that scenario. Blaine will change the weather, Lyra will get some boosts on, and then Typhlosion will do some damage. Nice. I really like that team idea, and I definitely want to try it out if I can get Ethan. So as a final verdict, I really like Ethan, not just because Gen 2 is the best gen, but because there's pretty much a lot of steps in the right direction for making weather included, which means it's going to become more prominent. I definitely will be trying out the team with Blaine, Lyra, and Ethan just to get some sweet tan lines. If I had to place Ethan on the tier list though, in terms of a special attacker, I feel like he's pretty much around the B to C tier list for now. More to the B tier because he does have some AoE damage, but I'd say it still feels good until I can get my hands on him to stick him in that B tier. But I'd love to know what you guys think about Ethan and Cyndaquil up into Typhlosion. How do you feel that Ethan kind of fits into the world of Pokemon Masters? Does he completely change everything for you? Are you going to be scouting for Ethan? That's the big question. Because the way that I have this structured, I'm pretty sure Ethan is going to release tomorrow, which I will, of course, be ready for. Gens in hand, let's go, boys. So before we leave off in this Limelight video, I need to do a quick sync pair scout. Currently, as I'm recording this, we only really have the two Spotlight Pokefair scouts. We're gonna do this Cynthia banner. If you want to follow along, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. No crazy animation. I don't think I've had like a good single pull in a long time. All my like 5 stars in recent memory that I can think of have been from multis, but nah, didn't even get trolled by the doors on that one. So unfortunately, we end up with another Rourke, but that is actually going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember that if you want to join the Discord, it's linked down in the description below. Also down there are links to Patreon and YouTube memberships if you really want to help fund what we just did, that whole scouting thing. It's kind of what most of that money goes for. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it. So thank you, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that if you like to like videos, you could do that, but if you don't, you could be that guy. Otherwise, let me know what you have to say down in the comments below about the video. I do highly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to support me in any way, there are several links down in the description for Patreon, joining the community here on YouTube, or even just directly PayPal if that's your thing. I greatly appreciate everyone's name that's on screen, as you guys have showed some sort of support outside of just viewing the videos, and I thank you guys. You don't understand from the bottom of my heart. So until our next video, guys, I will catch you then.